Are you a desk sitter, a car driver, a texter? Is your posture affecting your mood? Great question. And so, yes, this is going to affect your vagus nerve, which is going to affect your autonomic nervous system, which is going to affect your chemical messengers, your hormones coming through the body. It's going to affect your digestion, which affects your overall energy, right? This is depression. This is aging. And so posture is huge with every aspect of health. So do these 3 exercises, do these 3 stretches to optimize your desk sitting, your car driving, your modern day domestication. And so one of my favorite stretches right off the bat, I call this the floppy dicks. And so you're going to slide your hands down your IT bands and touch your knee. Let the neck follow. And this is a lateral stretch on the spine. How often do you see the spine moving from side to side? And so this is going to allow a little bit of stretching in there, into those discs. How many of you guys write me with bulging discs? If you close your eyes and you breathe in the nose and out through the nose, this turns it into a movement meditation. So you'll be killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You're going to be doing exercise, which the purpose of exercise is to move the lymphatic fluids, and then you're also going to be stretching. And so this is a very balanced exercise. It has rhythm and flow, and so you put rhythm and flow into your body. Rhythm and flow will come out into your mental health, as well as your physical health, your spiritual health, your emotional health, right? More rhythm and flow. We all need more rhythm and flow. What we're doing in the world today is we're putting linear, stagnant inputs into a dynamic, harmonic system. Make sure there's no impingements in the hips, the shoulders, the neck. So make the adjustment for yourself. Go slower to allow chi to go faster. Play with your tempo. Maybe you need to go a little bit faster or slower. Play with your tempo. And this should feel oh so good. Eyes closed. Get good posture on your feet. Toes pointed forward. So we're doing the floppy dick, and not to be confused by the floppy disks that went out with the dot bomb era. Okay, this is called the floppy dick. Us desk sitters, me included, right? We need to open up the hip flexors. When the hip flexors shut down, the glutes shut off, and then all hell breaks loose. Who wants a plump ass? I do. Do you got one? So open up the hip flexors. This is also attached to the soaz. The soaz is attached to our breathing mechanics and our emotions. We get yelled at, we hold our breath. A lot of that gets trapped in here. Also, our sitting patterns and our emotional patterns, they get trapped into here. So open that up. I'm going to show you the hanging exercises in a few seconds, and I'll show you how to do that while you're hanging to support your body. But ultimately, you want to get into a wide runner stretch, and then lift your arm up, or hang from a tree, or hang from a pull-up bar. And you get down this whole line deep enough. You can feel it in the hip flexor, but eventually it'll go deep enough so it goes into the soaz. So if you've got back pain, you got neck pain, you got depression, you got anxiety, look no further than your posture. And this is a hip flexor stretch. So if you have low-level musculoskeletal excitation because your psoas is tight, you're not breathing optimally, you're not going to get the proper oxygenation in your blood, and so you're not going to have the proper detoxification pathways open, clean, and clear, and so you're going to be bogged down with metabolic processes. So opening up the tissues in these very tight, domesticated, modern-day warrior places, psoas, hip flexors. Remember, we used to look at the history of the spear. We're a bunch of spear trucking motherfuckers. We would run and climb trees and stretch out our brachial plexus. And so you want to be a fully integrated human being. So open up those stagnant places from the desk sitting posture, right? From the car driving. This is so important, especially because after the hip flexor, it goes into the soaz, and the soaz is attached to the breathing mechanics, which is attached to your mental health, your emotional health, which is attached to your mental health and your emotional health. And so you just want to loosen up the body, optimize, and be a fully integrated human being. Now we go to my favorite stretch, which is just hanging. I recommend everybody get a hanging. I recommend everyone and buy a pull-up bar. If you have door jambs, you can buy a pull-up bar that goes right in there, hangs on the door jamb, and then you can hang from it. Don't do the pull-ups, because most of you guys don't have the biomechanics from it, because you're sitting at a desk all day, and so you don't want to pull out your shoulders. Just hang. Do some brachiation. Just hang. Open up this area. All in there. So let's go in there and we'll show you that. Okay guys, so here we are with the rudimentary pull-up bar. So old school, yet so effective. So why is this one of my favorite stretches? Because you get more mileage with a less amount of time. 2 minutes a day is all that's required, and you can do variations. Always variations. If you're going to go single arm, make sure that you have the shoulder dexterity. There should be no pain. And so 2 minutes a day. If you don't have the dexterity in your tissues as it is, or the strength, then you can do supported. I got my feet on the ground here, and I'm supported. So I can hang here for 2 minutes. I can time it for 2 minutes. I can do single armed. Single arm for this side. I've got my left knee forward, and I've got my right arm up. This is going to get deep into the hip flexors and into the psoas. The time is going to get deeper into the stretch. Now, again, this is a static stretch as opposed to the floppy dick, which is a dynamic stretch. And so these are good to do at night, because then you can go to sleep and your biomechanics can rest. If you do a static stretch, it can pull your biomechanics out. And so it's just good to do these at night. And so, but you can also do them any time of day that you want to move your vertebrae, right? And so, because if you just come up here, even for 10 seconds, big breath, and then my sacrum cracks, right? It aligns my spine. It decompresses my spine. It stretches out your forearms. So if we're texting, typing, driving, these things get very tight. We use our hands all the time. So it's going to stretch the forearms. Again, we have 2,000 pounds of tensile strength available when our fascia is flushed out, right? And so the more we can stretch these tissues out and get rid of the waste, that's the burn that you feel in a stretch. Right? That's that lactic uric acid coming to the forefront that wants to be flushed out by the body, detoxed by the body, natural detoxification process. And so opening up the tissues. So for you desk sitters out there that want a little bit of relief, definitely get a Swiss ball, a standing desk, multiple desk positions, so you're not always just this guy, right? The aging, depressed, metabolic dysfunction because your vagus nerve is crunched, which fucks up your digestion, right? Don't be that guy. Open up, right? Get the spine flexible and do some hanging.